You said that you had an ayahuasca experience in South America.
Yeah.
Now, again, on the surface, for people who are not informed about ayahuasca, they'd assume that it's just a psychedelic substance. Is it a party drug? No, it's not. It's a powerful spiritual device that opens up access to other realms. Would you agree?
Yeah, completely. Well, I spent a week in the Amazon, about 2 days journey from civilization, and up a river with a shaman and a group of people, and we drank. I think we drank five. I think we had five sessions with a very strict dieta. So I dieted for a month before it with no meat, no coffee, no chocolate, no alcohol, no sex, no all of those requirements. And then while we were there, I did dieta with a plant called cat's claw. So I was drinking probably 4 liters of cat's claw a day and eating a very limited amount of calories and diet. So plantain, quinoa, maybe some fish, but like really quite a low calorie diet. And I enjoy the discipline, and I enjoy being in a space like that when I can devote myself to a serious piece of spiritual work. So I was in a tambo by myself. I went with my partner, but we were separate from each other for the trip, and we were guided through the experience by a native shaman, a very skilled shaman, who performed the rituals in the native fashion. So previously, a lot of the ayahuasca that you can drink in the West is through a Brazilian church called the Santa Daime. And Santa Daime, they have a Christian approach to it. So they split up men and women, and they sing Christian songs, and they have a different method about the way they go about it. And I didn't want anything to do with that. That was not going to be my approach. So we went and we drank with the shaman, with a group of people who traveled out for it, including one of my dear friends who was recovering from some significant heart surgery. So one of the reasons that I went was to support him as he was going through his healing experience. And it was very important for me to be there and to help him with what he was going through. And what I gained from ayahuasca, and I've taken a significant number of other mind-altering substances and drugs through my time as a magician. It's been part of my practice to explore these realms. But ayahuasca is very different. They describe it as a teaching plant, and the experience of drinking the plant medicine and having the shaman singing the icaros, the sacred songs, and him charming the plant within your body and the spirit within your body is an extremely powerful experience. So you'd spend the day in quiet contemplation, and then spend the evening drinking the ayahuasca, which for people who haven't experienced it is it's a difficult thing to drink. Even like a small shot glass of ayahuasca has got a very bitter taste. And the effect of the medicine is also to make you purge. So you vomit and you bring a lot of things out of you. And as a magician, it was a real privilege to see a plant master in the Amazon and his relationship both to the spirit of the plant and his mastery of the plant, and the way he could manipulate it internally inside a whole group of people all going through different kinds of healing crises was spectacular. I could see many parallels with the kind of work that I do on a different level. It was to see another magical practitioner was fundamentally exciting. Again, in our previous conversation, we talked about other entities and lower entities. Having a shaman is extremely important to this experience, because drinking ayahuasca pulls in a lot of these lower entities, and you need a shaman to keep the space clear of these kind of spirits. And those kind of spirits, hungry spirits in the jungle, certainly came looking for food.
They wanted to feed on human emotion.
Yeah, they want to feed on human emotion. Yeah. And so I had a very good conversation with the spirit of ayahuasca, because
You mean Mother Ayahuasca?
yeah,
The female entity, which
the
is
female entity within it.
okay. I'll have to give some context.
Yeah,
here. Ayahuasca ceremonies are being studied by neurologists all over the world because they have found some scientific proof behind the changes that ayahuasca can create in a human mind. Secondly, the one commonality that everyone feels while doing ayahuasca is that they feel the presence of a feminine deity in many cases. I won't say everyone, but in many cases. And another commonality is the purge.
No, I had the same thing. I could feel my face running with tears despite not feeling like any sadness. But the spirit of ayahuasca, you very much feel the goddess. You feel the spirit of the plant engaged with you in a way that I haven't found with any of the other plants or substances that I've used. She's a very particular spirit. And in that particular context of the Amazon was like an even more powerful experience. And as a Western magician, a lot of the things I do are to do with, there's a lot of secrecy. There are a lot of secrets that you keep. And she just like ran through my head and pulled everything out. I went through everything. And it was quite funny because she was going through all of the symbols that I have in my system from Western magic. And she was kind of going, oh, this is new. Oh, what's this? And it was kind of trying, I spent the first 3 days trying to build up a way for us to have a language in which we could communicate, because we were coming from such different worlds.
Yeah. They say that everyone who does ayahuasca and encounters the mother views her in a different visual form. What was it for you?
I had a lot of serpents. I had a lot of snake stuff. Like she came with a lot of like kind of anaconda snake material.
As in she was a snake herself?
Yeah, she was a snake. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it was a very powerful experience. It's not my medicine, like in that it's not something that I will necessarily return to. I feel very privileged to have had the experience and the encounter, but that's not where my work lies. Like I know what my work is, but I think that the impact of ayahuasca on the spiritual development of the world is profound. And I think it's only just started.
Yeah. I think many, many human beings all over the world are going to discover ayahuasca over the course of their lifetime. But of course, we live in a society where there's a lot of preconceived notions about mind-altering substances, because that's what we're told by society. And in no way are we promoting the use of harmful substances like cocaine and heroin.
Yep.
And mind you, I think ayahuasca can be harmful in excess, and if you are doing it in an unguided manner.
Yeah.
You need a shaman to be able to do it. You need to do it in its purest form, and you need to do it with some kind of intention attached to your ceremony. My question to you, Peter, is that you've already interacted with beings from other realms. Other than Mother Ayahuasca, could you interact with beings from other realms as well?
Yeah, I think I think she's such a powerful spirit to encounter. I think you can shortcut years and years of personal work by going and learning from ayahuasca. But as you said earlier, there are dangers with this, and you were talking about the dangers of Western magic and whether I'd seen people who it had gone wrong for. Probably the worst person that I've seen from a spiritual perspective was a woman who had gone and drunk ayahuasca and apprenticed with a shaman and taken a lot of plant drugs in that process. And to me, she was the most spiritually damaged person I've ever seen. So it is important to have a shaman, but it's also important to be aware that not all shamans have your best interests at heart.
That was her mistake.
Yeah. She made a very bad mistake.
When we're talking about ayahuasca, we're talking about shamans. This is their version of tantra.
Yeah.
They use plant medicine as well. The active molecule in ayahuasca is DMT, in the same way that cannabis contains THC. Now, DMT can also be smoked in a synthetic form, and Joe Rogan keeps talking about this in his podcast. They say that everyone who smokes DMT enters a realm where they get to meet interdimensional creatures or beings, interdimensional beings that are not malevolent. And it's a very intense experience for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you come out. Have you done that as well?
No, but the problem that I see with DMT is exactly what you described, is that you're shot into this reality and everything happens very quickly and you come out of it and it's very difficult to bring something back. And as a magician, like I'm always, with an experience like this, I always want to bring something back with me from that world to work on or to deal with. And I'm not sure that smoking DMT enables you to do that in a very effective fashion. Whereas the beauty of ayahuasca, what I found very helpful was that the first maybe hour of having ingested the drug, you're in a very, you're in a light state where you can do a lot of work. You can get a lot of work done before the really powerful effects kick in. It's quite malleable at that stage with the icaros and the songs, and you're able to process and do a lot of self-work in that period before things become much more intense. And I think you miss that with the smoked DMT. I think it's just too rapid.
Okay. Are you comfortable sharing what your intention behind doing the ayahuasca was?
Yeah, I was doing a few things. One, as I say, I wanted to be there for my friend because I was concerned that he was going to die of the condition that he was having. And he was going through this major health crisis. And it was very important for me knowing my strengths and my ability to be there, to be present for him while he was going through that crisis. And what I found with ayahuasca was that I've been working on myself for a long time. So there weren't any huge surprises for me in what ayahuasca was able to show me about myself or other things. I learned some useful things. I learned some things about animals. I learned some things about plants and my relationship to these different spirits. I learned a lot about the jungle. But the most important thing that I probably learned from ayahuasca is that I already have my path.
Gotcha. It confirmed your reality.
It confirmed what I was doing.
What did you pick up about animals?
Well, I had a few experiences with some of the animals in the jungle. I won't name them just out of discretion, but the relationship that I had with the animals that I encountered in the jungle, both during the dieta and then subsequently during the ayahuasca experiences where they returned to me and taught me things, was extremely valuable.
You know, we consider snakes divine in India. Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic as long as you're willing to search for it.